This video was actually filmed in late October, so it was a little bit warmer there. It was, I would say, mid-60s, so it was a great ride. Perfect ride. I've been meaning to complete this video for, well, now it's been weeks, and it seems like one thing after the other, things keep piling up. I haven't been able to just sit down and finish this thing. This one's going to be a little bit different. You won't see a whole lot of me in this. It's mainly just going to be me narrating. And honestly, I'm not too sure what I'm going to be talking about. It would make sense for me to talk more about the video and what I'm doing and, what I was thinking that day. And I guess some of that will tie in, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm just kind of winging it. I think one of the things that motivated me today, specifically to get this done, was I was messaging a person who has been going through a lot lately, a lot of obstacles all at once. In a way I could relate because, for me it's been mostly medical stuff. Then on top of that, recent breakup, recent move, it's the stress of it as far as the random thoughts of if it's going to get better, and of course it will, but, the other things that come with it, money, insurance, how it's going to affect my future jobs, future relationships. These things start to go through your head constantly, and when these things happen, it always seems to happen at once. It's never just a little bit at a time. It always piles on you and hits you at once. And it always feels like you're being tested. It really feels like you're being put in a situation to see how you can handle that extreme level of stress. If you're a person with a religious background, then you might think, well, maybe, this is God testing me. He's putting me on the spot to see, or he's putting me on the spot so I can become wiser. Obviously, we don't have to plant religion behind it. Unfortunately, we need these hardships to become better people. Everything can't be smooth entirely along the way. Otherwise, we wouldn't know the difference between the good times and the bad. Of course, when you're dealing with it in the moment, it's overwhelming, it's stressful, you want to go and beat the hell out of something, you want to go, hit your punching bag, scream to a pillow, whatever you got to do to relieve that frustration. And hopefully this doesn't come off as, oh, poor me, I'm going through hard times, how will I ever get through it? And that's not my intention. My intention is to share a little bit, to remind others that sometimes life can be difficult. Sometimes it's a little bit of a fight, and you gotta keep moving forward. You gotta keep doing what you gotta do to survive in a way. Even though we live in a country that's pretty great compared to others, we still have difficulties. We still have things we gotta work through. It's not just the everyday life problems of work and money. There's also personal emotional problems that unfortunately we have today, and there's a little bit more of it. The answer to overcoming some of those things is sometimes simpler than we realize, though. The little things like staying active, taking your vitamins, being physical, being out and about, having hobbies, focusing on your work, but not to a point where it's controlling your every thought of every day. But it's the positive distractions. It's all the little things that we enjoy day to day that pulls our focus. For me, it's something as simple as this, making these videos, making these recordings, going out in the motorcycle, seeing these places in person. And sometimes I take these things for granted. I'll take for granted all the things in my life that are good, that I sometimes have to remind myself of, wow, look what I can do, look what is available to me. I have all this beautiful land to adventure, I have friends, I have family, I have the ability to contact someone across the world on my computer and discuss things with them and vent to them and see what they're going through, and in that process maybe accidentally, indirectly help that person. So maybe a question we should all ask ourselves is, what is it in my life that I take for granted? What is that thing? What are those things in my life that I forget, that actually mean a lot to me, that could change me? Anyhow, this is some of the things that I contemplate when I'm out on the road. Obviously, the ride is about the adventure, but naturally, you're going to have moments where you just start thinking about things. Things are going to pop into your head. You can't help that. Human beings, we can't help that. But the nice thing about being on the motorcycle is that having these things come to your head, it's not as bad because you're out enjoying the adventure. You're out doing something that's incredibly great. So it's kind of hard to get bummed out. So it puts you in this nice perspective where you can kind of tackle things without feeling too much about it. It's a good balance. It helps. I love riding in fall. There's something to it, like you're just waking up, feeling focused. Everything seems clear. Anxiety and stress is all essentially fear, right? So what better way to attack fear than to go out on a ride like this? When I'm on rides like this, I obviously know where I'm going. I have a general plan of what direction I'm going. Most of the time there is an eventual destination, but I prefer to get lost, if at all possible. Let me get lost and let me find my way out. And I guess that applies to everything, doesn't it? Each year I've been learning more and more that I am incapable of holding still. I can't be stagnant. I can't not be doing nothing. I have to be doing something. I have to have a project. I have to either be working or creating. I have to be physically moving. It's probably one of the best things about my character. I try to apply that to work and my relationships. I try to apply it in just about everything in my life. I just feel that that's something that can cause issues for people that they don't really necessarily think about, as far as being still for too long, being stagnant for too long, and not having a goal or a drive to do anything. Or maybe because, it's difficult for a lot of people right now because, with COVID going on and, the infrastructure is kind of at a hold still that's forcing people to not do much, and therefore they're kind of they're being forced to face themselves and to face their situations, and if you're not active while you're processing all this, if you don't have a project, if you don't have something to build for, then you're just kind of faced with all your demons, and that is horrific. And that causes more fear and more anger in the world, and we certainly do not need more of that right now. It's just something I think we should think about. We need to be aware of our environment, be aware of ourselves, be aware of others, and be aware of how we're being affected by everything. As always, I appreciate the time that you guys put into watching this. I know in YouTube world, a couple minutes seems like an hour, so if you actually sit through this whole thing and watch it all, I really appreciate it. I'm still not even too sure why I'm doing it, but I do enjoy it, and I'm sure there'll be more videos to come.